Caitlin Clark's secret 2026 offseason training isn't just a workout routine. It is a calculated response to a league that has spent the last year trying to figure out how to stop her. While the rest of the WNBA is locked in a high-stakes game of chicken with the front office over the expiring collective bargaining agreement, Clark has gone completely dark. She isn't in Miami for the second season of the unrivaled 3-on-3 league, and she isn't doing the typical European tour to stay sharp. Instead, the receipts are surfacing in the most unexpected places, like the background of other players' social media stories and cryptic posts that hint at a physical transformation the league isn't ready for. The evidence of this secret camp first leaked when fans with eagle eyes spotted Clark in the background of a rehab video posted by Azari McDonald, where she wasn't just shooting jump shots, but engaging in high-intensity movement drills that looked more like an NFL training camp than a standard basketball practice. The league is trying to keep this timeline quiet, but we are tracking every deleted post and every background sighting of number 22 as she prepares for a season that might not even happen on time. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications right now to join the investigation and secure the receipts before the league tries to scrub this evidence from the internet. To understand why Clark has retreated into the shadows of the Indiana Pacers practice facility, we have to look at the state of the WNBA in January 2026. The CBA negotiations are currently in a total deadlock, with players threatening a strike that could delay or even cancel the upcoming season. The sticking points are massive, including revenue sharing and the astronomical jump in salary caps that the new wave of stars like Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Bueckers are demanding. While veterans like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner are fighting for the legacy of the old guard, the younger generation is looking at the revenue they have brought into the league and asking where their cut is. This tension has created a divide in the locker rooms that is deeper than anything we have seen in the history of women's professional sports. While her peers like Paige Bueckers are currently headlining the unrivaled league and taking home six-figure checks for a few weeks of work, Clark's absence has been deafening. On the A Touch More podcast, Sue Bird recently discussed how some of the veteran players view Clark's decision to stay isolated as a sign of detachment from the union's collective struggle. Bird mentioned that when you are the face of the league, your absence from these communal player spaces like Unrivaled sends a message that you are playing a different game than everyone else. This isn't just about training, it is about the politics of the locker room. The veterans see a player who was already a brand onto herself, and they worry she is being groomed to be a corporate shield for the league if a strike actually occurs. But if you look at the digital forensics, the reality is much more focused on basketball than politics. Clark's 2025 season was hampered by a series of injuries that limited her to just 13 games. She dealt with a persistent groin injury, followed by an ankle sprain that looked like it was going to derail her career momentum entirely. During her exit press conference in Indianapolis, she alluded to the fact that she needed to become a psychopath in the weight room to handle the physicality of the WNBA. The secret training we are seeing now is the result of that promise. On the Post Moves podcast, Candace Pracker pointed out that Clark realized very quickly that the old guard was going to use their size and strength to bully her off her spots, and if she didn't come back with a different physical profile, she would continue to be a target. This takes us back to the roots of the rivalry that started it all in the NCAA. The 2026 season opener is scheduled to be Clark against Paige Bueckers in a matchup the WNBA has carefully curated to shift the narrative back to pure basketball. But you can't talk about Clark without talking about the shadow of Angel Reese and the 2023 National Championship game that changed the trajectory of the sport. The physical fouls we saw in 2024 and 2025 weren't just basketball plays, they were messages sent from the locker room to a player who was perceived to have skipped the line. When Reese threw that hard foul during the 2025 rivalry week, it wasn't just for the cameras. It was a reminder that the new wave still has internal hierarchies to respect. The receipts for Clark's secret training are buried in the social media activity of the trainers she is working with in Indianapolis. We have seen her engaging in unconventional workouts, including sessions where she is throwing deep football passes with the precision of a professional quarterback. She even joked on her Instagram story that someone should sign her to an NFL roster. This isn't just for fun. Analysis of these videos shows that she is working on core rotational strength and long-distance vision, which are the hallmarks of her deep logo three-pointers. By stepping away from the organized structures of the WNBA offseason, Clark is effectively building a private laboratory where she can reinvent her game without the prying eyes of league scouts. The stakes for this reinvention are incredibly high because of the unrivaled league's expansion. With 8 teams and 48 roster spots, the unrivaled league has become the de facto home for the WNBA elite during the winter. By choosing to stay out, Clark is forfeiting millions in potential equity and salary. This has led to whispers in the league that she is prioritizing her Nike signature line and her own private brand over the growth of the collective. On her podcast, Unapologetically, Angel Reese noted that while she respects everyone's process, she believes that being present with the other players is how you build the culture of the league. The shade was subtle, but the message was clear. Clark is an island, and the rest of the league is a continent. Analyzing the tunnel walks from the late 2025 season also provides a roadmap for this offseason drama. Clark's body language in the final weeks before her injury showed a player who was mentally and physically exhausted by the constant scrutiny. When she was spotted in that background of a Zari McDonald video, her posture was entirely different. She looked heavier in the lower body, suggesting a massive focus on strength and conditioning that was missing during her rookie and sophomore campaigns. This is the version of Clark that the league is afraid of, a player who has the range of a generational shooter, but now has the strength to finish through the contact that the vets used to neutralize her. This takes us back to the roots of the rivalry that started it all in the NCAA. The 2026 season opener is scheduled to be Clark against Paige Buckers in a matchup the WNBA has carefully curated to shift the narrative back to pure basketball. The 2026 CBA strike tensions add a layer of professional stakes to this personal beef. If the league locks out the players, Clark will be barred from the Pacers facility. This is why the secret training is happening now in January, before the deadline hits. She is essentially front-loading her season prep in case she has to spend the spring in a private gym away from team trainers. There's also the matter of the Team USA training camp in Durham, where Clark finally looked healthy after her injury-plagued 2025. Sources from that camp suggested that she was playing with a chip on her shoulder that reminded them of her senior year at Iowa, when she was on a mission to break every record in the book. The old guard, like Diana Taurasi, has been vocal about the reality check that every young player eventually faces. In a recent interview, Taurasi mentioned that the hype can get you in the door, but it won't keep you on the floor if you can't take the hits. Clark's secret camp is a direct response to that vet mentality. She isn't just practicing her jumper, she's preparing for war. The physicality of the 2026 season is expected to be at an all-time high because of the expansion teams in Toronto and Portland, which have created a vacuum for talent and a desperate need for players to prove they belong in the starting five. As we look toward the May 8th tip-off, the question isn't just whether Clark is healthy, but whether her secret training has evolved her game to a point where the league's defensive schemes are obsolete. The digital breadcrumbs show a player who is leaning into isolation, while the other stars are bonding in Miami and Philadelphia over unrivaled games. Clark is in an empty gym in Indiana, putting in the work that no one sees until the lights are at their brightest. This is the prestige drama of the WNBA, where a deleted tweet or a liked comment on Instagram tells a story more honest than any official press release. The prediction from insiders is that Clark will arrive at training camp with a completely different physique and a refined shooting motion that accounts for the increased pressure she faces at the professional level. If the secret camp has worked as intended, she will be able to weather the storm of the CBA strike and the inevitable target on her back that comes with being the most popular player in the history of the game. But if the injuries flare up again, the narrative will shift from she's working in silence to she is hiding from the competition. The next few weeks will be critical as the CBA deadline approaches and the final rosters for the unrivaled season are set. We will be watching every social media move and every podcast clip to see if the old guard finally breaks their silence on Clark's off-season choices. This isn't just basketball, it is a chess match where every move is recorded and every receipt is saved. Make sure to watch our next breakdown on the Paige Bookers and Dallas Wings expansion drama to see how the other side of the new wave is preparing for the 2026 takeover.